Have you ever wondered how much money it costs to own chickens? Well, today I'll be showing you exactly that, and also a couple other statistics that are similar. For today's video, we'll be using a chicken flock consisting of 12 chickens, 3 barred rocks, 3 buff Orpingtons, 3 Easter eggers, and 3 golden buffs. Without any further ado, let's get into today's subject. So for this, we'll need to gather all the materials that we're going to be needing for baby chickens, and also buy some baby chickens as well. First things first, a brooder is a one-time purchase, along with heat lamps, waterers, and feeders. Everything else will be bought regularly. Baby chickens will also need 4 bags of shavings and 2 bags of feed to survive one singular month. But we're actually going to start off by buying the baby chickens first things first. Buff Orpingtons are roughly $5 US, which means we'll be spending about $15 for 3 of them. Barred rocks are also $5, so we'll be spending also $15 on them. Easter eggers are $7, we'll be spending $21 on them, and golden buffs are $4, so we will be spending $12 on them. We're spending a total of $63 on just buying the baby chickens alone. We can get a starters pack, which includes the brooder, heat lamp, waterers, and feeder for roughly $150, which is pretty expensive, but it could be a whole lot worse. We're also going to need 4 parcels of shavings, which will be about $28 a month on shavings, because they're each about $7 a piece at Tractor Supply, which is pretty expensive, but it's definitely a little bit less worse than the feed bags. We'll be most likely needing 50 pounds as they are most efficient, but even with that size of bag, we'll still regularly be going through 2 of those bags every single month. Each of them are $28, so we will be spending $56 per month on chick starter feed, which compared to the adult hen feed isn't that bad. You'll also need to replace the heat lamp bulb about once a month, which they usually go for about $10. All this being said, the first month is about $307, but if we include taxes, it would likely be a bit closer to $320 for just their first month. But don't worry, they do get just a bit cheaper as time progresses. Now, they will likely be spending most of their life outside, foraging around the area, but when the night falls, they will need an area to go for general protection, as they are not the top of the food chain at night. Now, chicken coops are easily the most costly on this list, and can easily run you back thousands of dollars, but really, there are chicken coops that won't cost you a month's rent at a 1-bedroom apartment in New York. You can still get a crazy expensive chicken coop for about $950, which is still crazy expensive, but there are cheaper options, like buying a $350 chicken coop and modifying it to your liking. Or, if you have some spare money laying around, you could of course go get yourself an extremely high quality chicken coop for $3,000 or possibly more. But for this scenario, we'll be using a $1,200 chicken coop. You could also just stop there, since free-ranging chickens is really cheap, but if you want to ensure your chicken's protection, then it is best to have a yard for your chickens. I would recommend considering your situation. If you want to save money, then you can go buy a portable fence, which costs around $125, but installing an actual stationary fence is a big pain, and if the area is big enough, it can cost more than the actual chicken coop sometimes. But I found a chicken wire fence with good reviews that costs about $115. So to move your chickens outside, it'll likely cost around $13.15. I'm not talking about $13.15, I'm talking about $1,315. But we'll be rounding that up to $13.50 due to taxes and inconsistent pricing. In the winter, we usually spend a lot more than what we actually make with our chickens because of the fact that here in the Northeast, we get a ton of snow and cold temperatures here, which strips all the ground of its vegetation. And all the bugs here are usually dead, which means they only have their normal feed and potentially a couple treats to indulge in. This is when the chickens can consume up to 4 bags of feed in just a single month. A 50-pound bag of feed is usually $25 at Tractor Supply, but while looking at the costs, I found that some websites resell this product for $60, which is insane. So you'll likely be spending about $100 or so on just the feed alone. Or if you live in a more rural area, the prices may be even higher, so you may be spending over $150 on some feed. Treats are hard to calculate due to the fact that they're different every time, but we usually spend about $30 per month on treats. So we spend about $130 to $180 per month in the winter, depending on how the prices are doing at that time. So that's pretty interesting to say the least, that we're spending only that in the winter. I thought it was higher, but to be honest with you, it's better than nothing. In the summer, all the vegetation magically reappears in the yard and the bugs begin spawning in at copious numbers, which is perfect for the chickens. Usually they only need 2 bags of feed in the summer, and in a flock of 12 chickens, they'll likely only need 1, but it's best to get 2, just in case something like a hurricane comes and wipes out all the vegetation. So you're really spending $50 on feed and $30 on treats, but sometimes even less than that. So we usually spend a little under $85 a month in the summer on treats, which is really good. It's low cost in the summer, but sadly then the fall comes around and wipes all of the vegetation out once again, which is quite unfortunate. Now, most people get chickens for 2 things: to have free eggs and to sell eggs to make a bit of profit. Now, in a hypothetical situation, if your chickens lay 10 eggs per day consistently for a year straight, which, just so you know, that is a highly unrealistic situation with 12 chickens, but you get what I'm trying to say, you'll be getting about 3,650 eggs per year, which equates to around 304 1-dozen cartons of eggs. And if you sell a dozen eggs for $4, then you can make $12.16 in profit, which is $1,216 in profit, which is about how much money you probably be spending annually on adult, fully grown chickens. So there is little to no profit in the situation. But of course you could try going to an area where eggs sell a lot more. So here in Connecticut, I live in the Northwest area, eggs are pretty decent over here, but if I drive all the way down to Southwestern Connecticut, I could probably be getting away with selling them for like $7 or $8 because it's really expensive down there. So depending on that situation, that's exactly how you can make a ton of more money with your chickens. But if you click the video in the center of the screen, you will learn how to actually make some more profit off your hens with more than just simply getting eggs from them. And we'll continue our conversation about making chicken money over there.